Hey guys, a little late, but the review on Grand Dunman recently has been quite busy, so I think it has been quite a while since my last upload. Anyway, let's just move on to this. Whatever I share today is just based on my point of view, so make sure you do due diligence and consult the right personnel before you make any big investment decisions. So this is Grand Dunman. Apologies if I say the terbalik way, because throughout this whole month I keep thinking to myself, Dunman Grand, then they just out of nowhere they just swap it to Grand Dunman. So yeah, so anyway, this is Grand Dunman. This is the concept of it, and then a little few more concept pictures of it. Concept pictures are always nice, so to me it's just seeing it just another development lah. But for those people who are thinking of buying to the river view, the river over here obviously looks nice, bluish water, looks like ocean. But we know, for those of you who really see the longkang water is always not that clean lah. Okay, just hope that there's no smell lah. So it's not as nice as all the 3D rendering. For those of you who do reno, you know lah. Usually your 3D renovation will end up always look a lot better than the actual one ma. So that one is normal. I'm not gonna delve too much into the concept the picture, that kind of thing. Those are the typical things that you see on show flat. Anyone can tell you that, so you don't need to hear this here. Typical info about the development. Then this is the land size and the number of units, 1000 plus. Number of shops over here, 5 of them. And then let's see. Okay. Unit distribution, almost about 50%, 49% are the smaller units. Some people call it investment or whatever it is. But the funny thing over here is that they don't seem to have 2 bed, 2 bath. From what I see on the floor plan, please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. At least in the show flat, I didn't exactly really go and notice it. So there's 2 pastari, and then there's surprisingly there's quite a lot of 2 bed 1 baths over here. There are easily 100 plus of them, maybe to control the quantum or something. But there are some other developments. You see 2 bed 1 bath, even quite a few years ago they were already squeezing in 2 bed 1 bath for like 600, low 600. But why are they squeezing so much? I think that is still a question mark. I don't think it's a very, very well planned layout. So we'll see. There's still quite a lot of big units over here, possibly more to cater towards the owner stay crowd. The large majority goes towards the 3-bedroom, not as many goes towards the even larger ones, and these are definitely not easy to move, especially for this one. I really have some doubts about how they're going to move this unit, especially how recently Amber Park has been, the last unit sold was really quite low. So it seems that the market hasn't really digested that kind of quantum for this kind of size, especially for 99. I think it's still highly unproven, even for the freehold in a much better area in terms of Amber Park. They are still facing a little bit of difficulty, so I really don't know how is it gonna be. Anyway, there's 34 of them to clear. We'll see how they go. This is the site plan, and if you realize the concept of it, I feel, okay, let me see. I'm not sure whether you guys remember the Treasure at Tampines. I feel it's a little bit like Treasure at Tampines because the land size is pretty decent. It's not bad. It's big, but there are a lot of units. So that's why they are forced to squeeze everything together, and that's why you see things like that, I don't think they are trying to advertise. That's why this time you don't see too many concept picture of the whole thing as an overall view. But I think this is quite a good illustration. I'm not saying that being this kind of facade is going to affect your price. I highly don't think so. It's just that it doesn't look as appealing from the outside. Basically, it looks like Florence Residence, but hi, Florence Residence is a success. That's why it doesn't always mean that a facade doesn't look good and it's not going to make money. It's going to be much more complex than that. It's just maybe some concern you want to look atas. It's just not going to look that atas from the outside That's why you got blocks on all these 4 different parts, and then this is the so-called grand block, and the rest are so-called luxury block, which is quite funny because usually people call luxury like the more luxury, but they don't balik lah. Okay, I'm not gonna question why this one is not my problem, or why they choose to name it in a certain way, and not that it actually matters. That the shops are out here, and then there's one pool to share among the 1,000 households. That will leave quite a lot to be seen how they're gonna manage it. Within 1 km radius, Guanghua and Tanjong Katong primary school, and then all these within 2 km radius. All this depends on block. I'm just planting one towards the right side lah. So make sure you do the due diligence. I'm not going to delve too much into that because I think I mentioned before in some of my other videos. Some people, yes, you think schools are damn important. Some people are not really, and we've seen quite some proof of how that is not exactly true. So I'm not going to dwell too much into that. If you're buying for the 1 km, then you have to do your due diligence and make sure exactly that the block that you are buying is within 1 km radius. Okay, you basically you cannot just push the due diligence to other people lah. So I'm not going to dwell too much in that. This is not something I'm not too concerned about. I'm more concerned about things like supply. Over here within 1 km radius, and you have almost 12,000 units. This is absolutely insane. This is one of the densest areas that we have been analyzing, and this is definitely not something from a supply point of view. This is not something that you can easily ignore lah. But we've talked a lot about that. These are the competitors that we will compare. 5 of them in the area. When it comes to age, these two guys are very, 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 very similar to Dunman. Then Waterbank. This one is, by the time Dunman is done, probably 14 years old. This one is probably 17 years old. And then this guy is way older. This is like 20 something years old. But this is the only freehold over here. And this is always a very strong competitor. You'll see why. Over here, you can see previously Head Court was below the two of them, which are newer. But today, we will know who are the real winners in this area. Will you want to buy a 99 in a freehold area? I think there's a very big question mark. Okay, I don't think if I want to buy an investment, I wouldn't want to get into a place where I have a very strong weakness compared to the rest. And I know there are a lot of people saying that Waterbank make money, Dakota make money. Those guys are essentially, most of them, they got. We look at this all these guys, most of them they make big money. Most of them got in when prices were way, way, way below. Because remember, prior to the TDS, if you bought most of the properties before that period of time, then you would have, most of the time you would have made quite a bit of money, provided you don't overpay for some nonsense. So most of the time people will be able to get quite a lot of profits in that sense if they got in way before 2013 period. So since it's TOP 2013, definitely the launch was way before. So we can see after TDS kicked in, prices went south. After that, stagnant for the longest time until very, very recently, they realized that this plot has been sold, and then the hype starts coming up. It's always the GLS, that's the one pulling out the prices, right? Especially if it's expected to be launched at a much higher price. Dakota, on the other hand, is a little bit better. It was stagnating until around here. They went up. So I know a lot of agents are saying that this one make money here and there. But how long has it been stagnating before it actually make money? That's another question. Okay, whereas this guy is definitely stronger overall. How long did it take before they basically outperform the leasehold lah? That is something a lot of people don't realize. So if Dunman is the MRT nearest to MRT is expected to launch above this guy over here. This guy launched average 2,400 plus. This guy launched just slightly over 2,007 for Continuum. So a lot of people are expecting GD to be somewhere in between. But GD being GD, they have 1,000 plus units to move. Either they price it here or they have to price lower. Not how are they going to move. But till now, they still haven't. They are the only development out of 4 launches concurrently that has yet to release the prices. So we're just going to give an estimate, maybe probably to even conservative 2004, 2005 on average. Then how big of a premium are people paying for Continuum in that sense? It's not a very, very big one, because if let's say they launch somewhere in between, the premium that they pay, typically last time premium for freeholds, you're talking about 20%. This is easily less than 20%. And there are some people who feel that, continue cannot walk to MRT. The walking distance is, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's still less than 10 minutes. It's not that far away, and there are so many case studies that prove that being near MRT does not always guarantee profits. In fact, some of the best performing projects are far away from MRT. So if you're looking at things from an investment point of view, you cannot just look at MRT. MRT does not mean king. Developers know that you love MRT, they will love to charge you for that, and they know you're willing to pay for it. So price, you have to be a little bit more sensitive. This is Water Bank, if I'm not wrong. Okay, and then I only look at development. They only look at transactions, two-way transactions after 2013, after TDS are kicked in, because anything you buy before that is not exactly very accurate. So all these guys lost money. I'm not going to look at them, of course they lose money. And this whole chunk of them who are profitable, all these that are striked out basically means that they made little to no money. Other than that, the rest, I say my iPad dropped. Okay, so I got a scare. Wow, okay, disrupt the momentum. So these are the guys who didn't manage to make money. Okay, the red ones, and then the rest of them managed to make quite a bit lah. Okay, this one is quite decent lah. Okay lah. 2.2, I think still fine. After you did out all the causes and everything, this guy made quite a lot of money. I think this is a good returns. This is a good returns. This is also a good return, but I think they just managed to clear SSD. So this guy managed to profit quite a lot, so congratulations to them. But out of the whole chunk of them, how many of them actually managed to make money? I think it's less than half. And a lot of people don't realize it. If you just look at the chart, then it's not going to be too informative, especially for something that is way older, launched before TDS. It's not actually very, 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 very accurate. But one thing we also need to note is that the price gap between the old and the new, when it becomes too big, then it may be a concern. That's why entry price is really, really very important. Nowadays, you cannot take indicative prices given by developers during the preview too seriously. Now, they seem to be playing around, probably give you a higher price, then they launch lower for you to have the FOMO effect. So it remains to be seen how many of these are still playing on these tricks because they have been playing this for the past 2-3 launches. Then this is Nakota Residences. Same, I only talk about those. I only look at those that are launched after TDS. I mean, why am I saying not launch? Two-way transactions after TDS. This guy, total of 5 of them managed to make money. The rest, 3 of them didn't manage to make money. So out of 8, 3 of them are not really profitable, little to no profits. Then the rest of the 5 are quite decent, good profits. Okay. And then we examine the impact of supply for these 2. Previously, they were launched near the Taramera MRT. I think it was back in 2013, and they were launched at the same time, almost the same time, age almost the same. And this is what happens when you have 2 of them fighting together and you have over 10 years. How has the price moved? So a lot of people underestimate the impact of supply that is competing with you directly in terms of age. The other one that I previously talked about in the previous video on Lentor Hill, in the Pasir Ris area, we have 2 of them, not 2 of them, all these are 2 years, 2 years, 2 years, and then 1 year. And of course, not all of them are very, very unprofitable. This guy is profitable simply because he was launched at a much cheaper price, very, very reasonable price. Whereas you can see after this line, right, I previously mentioned in the video, I'm not going to mention it again. There was one hero that came in and saved the day. So you just needed one Mr. Bean to pay higher price, and then the rest will move. So will Grand Dunman be the Mr. Bean? That will be the question. Okay, and if you look at the master plan, residential plots over this whole chunk, a lot of people are saying, agents or whatever they're saying this whole chunk is going to be pulling out the prices. But we've seen in Lentor Modern, just because there are land plots coming up, there are still available land plots, does not always mean that the prices will keep going up. So it really depends on the age gap, how long of an age gap between the launches, then we will be say if it launch becomes too it becomes too close of a gap, then it becomes like this guy that joins the party. This like, now you already have this one is confirmed already joining a party, and hence the Kevin Hart face. Okay, he's here joining a party. He's probably no idea why is he joining the party and confused. He's just trying to sell something, but unfortunately there are all these, and I would say this is almost a mega development. 800 plus continuum. This is mega development. This is a very big development. 600 plus. This is going to be almost like a mega development, even bigger than continuum. And the four of them add up together, it's almost, I remember the previous session on continuum, I think we were talking about 3,000 plus units, and all this one is already confirmed. It's really underway for tender. The supply is quite terrifying, I would say. There are still some land plots coming up. This one I have no idea yet. So whether it's going to be a Mr. Bean that saves the rest of the rest of the boat, the rest of the tide, or is it going to be a Kevin Hart that is thrown there for because they just want to sell make some profits. But when you have too many of them almost at the same time, then it becomes a threat. It may result in a price war, so which may not be too good for you if the developers want to push up the price for you. And ultimately, why are we buying new launch? Why are we looking at new launch? Because we want the developers to push up the prices for us, But if they don't have the pricing power to do it for you, then why are you getting it for investment in the first place? Unless you're telling me today you just want something that's brand new, then by all means go ahead. Okay, so the verdict, yes, it's 10 upon 10. Okay, I'm not going to repeat why. So, of course, it's 10 upon 10 depending on the price. Okay, it can be a 10 upon 10 development if you launch at the right price. It can be a 1 upon 10 if you launch at the wrong price. So, as usual, you guys know my style. I'm not going to elaborate too much on that. Basically, it really boils down to the price and the unit type and a lot of other factors on the day itself. Since developers are not willing to launch the indicative price now, and there can be quite a lot of changes last minute to even for the indicative price. They can give you this indicative price, then they launch lower than that or they launch higher than that. Nobody knows. They are not obliged to tell you. Let's just be clear about that. They can even give you the price list now, but when you go to the table, they can even change the price, and there's nothing you can do about it, because it's just if you're not happy, you walk away lah. I think one thing we need to also be clear about is we cannot be self-entitled lah. I think that's very important lah. A lot of people are very self-entitled. You demand this, you demand that, but you expect to get it for free. I think that's not a very considerate approach. After all, you need to respect other people's profession lah. And then the time to hone your craft. Of course, you're talking to some Tom, Dick, and Harry who doesn't know his shit, then too bad lah. But if you know you're talking to somebody who knows his shit, then you gotta respect them. If you want good lawyers, you pay for them. You want not so good lawyers, then you pay peanuts for them. So same goes for developer side. They have no obligation to tell you. If you're happy with it, you buy at that price. You're not happy with it, you walk away. They're not gonna be begging you. They have a lot of time to sell. They easily have about 3 years, I think. They got 5 years. They took 1 year to plan, for probably 4 years to sell. So it's still very easy for them to move eventually. It's just a matter of how are they going to do it. This is the news recently that came out on private properties price slip. And once this article came out, it's like people are forwarding to me, private market actually going to crash. It's very unlikely lah. Especially if you look at how recently people June basically, if you look at the June transactions is like, the past few months like that. Then suddenly June transaction is like this, because people are going on holiday. Most of them can't give a shit about property. They're just going overseas, and that's just a typical Singaporean mentality. When people don't buy, they don't buy. When people buy, then they kanchong, they also start to buy. So people when go holiday, they also want to go holiday. And when they come back, they complain about the lack of opportunities, because everyone is flooding there. I don't get my opportunity. But when people are not flooding there, when the shop are empty, you don't want to go. You want to wait until people go, there you go. Example, typical behavior, you go to hawker center. you You see people queue, you want to queue. Then you end up, wow, they are so nice, so nice, so nice. Then you eat already, wow, not so nice. I would say most of the time, when friends recommend me, oh, this one is very good, that one is very good, 80% to 90% of the time I get disappointed. And that's why I stopped queuing. Because most of the time, the things that I get recommended and people FOMO, go and queue, it's not even that good. And I can easily tell you, go and go and interview the whole queue of people. When they buy already, how many of them actually think that it's genuinely good? No. Why am I there? Because I'm there because the whole chunk of people are queuing. But the actual very, very solid store, very, very good one, that one maybe sell a very good wanton mee or bak kut teh or whatever. Nobody go and queue because nobody go and bother to dig up the gen. And only those people who stay in the area or very, very familiar, they'll happily go without a queue and then go and appreciate something that is really, really very nice. But most people will just follow where the queue is. It's like you go to the typical another or whatever shops, people queuing up. Example, concerts, people now queuing, fighting for concert ticket. Does it always mean that it's always a very good concert? No, nobody knows for sure. So this one may be a trend of much lower transaction volume, people going on holidays, and then also I would say quite a good factor would be the presence of higher interest rates, because it is really about time that people wake up. I personally feel that quite a lot of resales are way overpriced, and on top of that being way overpriced, the interest rates are hitting you full blast at 4 point something percent. If you break down and do an amortization about mortgage loan repayment, you go and see how many percent of your loan actually goes towards interest, and that is the very, very painful. Those are sunken costs. People don't realize it. People are buying as if, this one, the new one, I need to wait, I need to buy 2 mil, but whereas the other one, the old one, I can get it immediately. I can buy 1.5, 1.6. But they don't factor in like renovation, because most people, when they want to buy now, they are super emotional people. Then the renovation causes kind of come in. Then the interest rate comes in full blast I wouldn't say all-time high, maybe decades high, which is very, very terrifying. So if you want to get in, and then you are not financially savvy, which I can assure you, a large majority of Singaporeans are very, very financially unsavvy. So they rush in, they think cheap is good, so they buy already, but they don't actually calculate the expenses to know that, how come my money doesn't build up? My money somehow keeps going elsewhere, but I cannot seem to understand. I'm earning this amount of money, which is quite a lot of money, but someone the money seems to bleed, and they do not figure out why. I'm very sure a lot of you have friends like this, or maybe some of you are actually guilty. Okay, I don't think I'm guilty about this, because I've been very, very self-conscious in terms of personal finance from a long time ago, and I tend to calculate a lot of causes, especially when it comes to property. But a lot of people, I realize, they don't think about that. So this is about high time that people really realize the causes of interest, and that's why resale market is about time for them to soften. Okay, I'm not eternal. I'm not cheering for this market to keep going like this. Okay, don't get me wrong. I feel it is important what the government maintains, what they are doing, is that they ensure our property market remains in a sustainable manner. Okay, because ultimately we don't want this kind of thing to happen to us. This is going to be terrifying. So this is actually something good. You got a lot of cooling measures coming in, and that's why those people who can really afford, they will be able to afford. Then when it comes to financial crisis or economies not being stable, that is when those people who can hold will end up holding. And most of the time, these people can really hold. Ultimately, government force you to save 55% your TDS. What will happen to the 45% over the months and months and months? Will it be accumulated towards your savings for the rainy day for the house? Okay, so like this article says, it may be too early to call the market peak. We have no idea yet, so let's see. For those of you who are going for the ballot, make sure you who are going for the going for the launch, make sure you don't fall into the launch day hype. Make sure you know it's not wrong to buy. Okay, let me clarify. It's not wrong for you to buy, but the problem lies with you buying because of pressure. We'll always be very, very clear that these are the price range that you can accept, and where the particular development may or may not sell well is fine. Doesn't matter whether it's launch day sell 50%, 70%, 80%. Some of the most successful launches in recent years are really terrible in terms of launch day performance, but they end up being the dark horse. But some they are sold out almost within the first day, or sold out within the first day, and then they underperform over a long term. Why? Because there is always a market gap info. Now, market info gap, basically. A lot of people don't really know what they're doing, so they'll assume what other people chiong into is actually the good thing. So now is a very typical example. Okay, this will be the end of the session. If you have anything that you want to ask, then feel free to text me directly, and I'll see how I can help. And see you guys. Bye bye.